The other big story that's going on at the moment is the issue of knife crime and the fact that the government is about to impose more digital identification on the general public in order to, they say, to deal with this knife crime situation. So this is actually going back to 2017. So this is not something that's new. Suddenly it's becoming a crisis. But this was LBC in 2017 saying 3 fatal stabbings in 36 hours, 35 murders under the age of 25 this year, a rise of 84% in 12 months. Is knife crime getting out of control? So this is not something that is a recent issue. So the government has announced stricter, what they're describing as stricter age verification online. They're adding the purchase of knives to the use of pornography in terms of the regime that people are going to have to abide by. They're describing it as what they call a stringent 2-step system, which will be mandated for all. This is a quote, will be mandated for all retailers selling knives online, requiring customers to submit photo ID at the point of sale and again on delivery. They say, the government saying they have an ambitious mission to have knife crime within a decade. Why are they only having it?
Question I've asked before, I'm not sure.
Within a decade, as part of the plan for change, of course, because this is all about change. And a core element of this, they say, again, this is a quote, will be addressing problems in the online sales space, end quote. So they're saying that a person may need to submit a copy of photo ID, such as a driving license or a passport, that they may need proof of address, such as a utility bill, before, and they're again going to have to show ID after the package is delivered. And this could also include submitting a current photo or video of yourself if you're buying a knife to an online retailer alongside their ID. Now, the implications of this in terms of personal data and the potential for identity theft, because of course you're going to be handing more and more sort of personal information to more and more retailers whose systems may not be terribly robust from a security point of view. Now, you may say, well, this is, I'm not buying a knife, but of course, this is now pornography first. Now it's knives. It's going to continue on the list to the point where we're going to need ID for many, many things. It's also, under this proposal, going to be illegal for any retailer to deliver a package containing a bladed weapon to a doorstep, when there's no one in to receive it, and so on. So anyway, let's have a look at what our wonderful Home Secretary had to say about this. Here's Yvette Cooper. It's a total disgrace how easy it is for children to get dangerous weapons online, she says. More than 2 years after Ronan Kanda was killed with a ninja sword bought by a teenager online, too many retailers still don't have proper checks in place. The measures I'm setting out today will be crucial in addressing this problem and are part of our plan for change and mission to make streets safer. Well, are they? This is a very good question. We'll discuss that in a second. But before we do, Idris Elba was on the BBC Radio 4 Today programme this morning, because the BBC at 9 p.m. this evening is pushing out a documentary hosted by him on this topic. Let's just have a listen to a minute or so of what he said this morning.
What needs to happen now is a look at the schemes that are working, that are showing, hey, this works. So a lot of these schemes are losing their funding. We need to look at the budget and perhaps make sure we can support the schemes that the data shows work. Okay. I think that we need to ban all knives, period, and let's not be grey-areaed about it. I think heritage swords and such,
they need to come under
knives,
that ban.
Yes, but if you have one, have a license for it. Okay,
even kitchen. How would kitchen knives work with that?
So the truth is that kitchen knives are perhaps 25% of the knives used in most of the terrible crimes. That's one of the stats in the films. And those kitchen knives are usually a domestic situation. So kitchen knives, of course, it's very difficult. They're a domestic knife. I do think there is areas of innovation that we can do with kitchen knives. I hate to say it, not all kitchen knives need to have a point on them. That sounds like a crazy thing to say, but actually it would reduce. You know, you can still cut your food without the point on the knife, which is an innovative way to sort of look at it. And in a country in crisis, I'm sorry, but yeah, let's look at that. But the truth is, all knives, the loophole on the heritage knives allows the sale of zombie ninja swords to be sold. So let's ban them all. And if you have one of those knives, get a license for it. Simple as that.
This is such nonsense. I mean, we were wetting ourselves, frankly, during that, but we'll talk about that in a second. It's such nonsense. He's talking about 25% of incidents involving kitchen knives. Of course, if there's no availability of other types of knives, that proportion is going to go up, right? Because what everyone is doing is looking at symptoms. They're looking at the symptoms of a disease where, so I would like to know, where's the discussion about what's causing young people to be absolutely demoralized, frustrated, and angry that they're resorting to lashing out in this way? Where's the optimism in our youth? What's banning knives going to do? It's going to do nothing to stop violence amongst young people if we don't deal with the underlying problems. Take away the knives and they'll pick up rocks, or they'll smash a window and wrap a shard of glass in gaffer tape to make a knife. This is all wrong. And, Charles, we have to deal with the disease and not the symptoms.
We do. It seems from what he's saying, it's not just kitchen knives that don't have a point. And he really, and what you're saying is very much reminiscent of what the Duke of Edinburgh, the late Duke of Edinburgh, got pilloried for after the Dunblane incident, where he suggested that the response to it would be akin to banning cricket bats just because somebody had once hit somebody else over the head with a cricket bat. It is completely absurd. I will be touching on this again a little bit later in the news, but complete and utter nonsense. How the Today programme sustains that sort of a conversation in sort of good faith is beyond me.
Well, the Today programme has sustained the conversation. They've made an entire documentary about it that they're going to put out tonight at 9 p.m. Yeah. So they're absolutely, the BBC as a whole, sustaining this conversation. We will talk more about this in extra, but we shall move on. If you like what the UK Column does, you'd like to support us, the place to go is support.ukcolumn.org. We do need your continued support. You could make a donation. That helps a great deal. If you join as a member, though, you get access to the members only content, including UK Column News Extra, and there are various membership levels there. You can pick something up at the shop. That helps us a lot, and of course helps us get the brand out there. And if you pick something up at clive2carl.com, we get a small percentage of every purchase there, so that helps as well. But if you can't do any of that, please do share our material at least, and the share links are there, and there are other platforms, of course, if you want to share directly, but that helps us get around the various censorship algorithms that are there. Now, tomorrow at 1 p.m, Ben is interviewing Raja Mia, of course, about the rape gangs. He has been for 6 years calling out what's been going on with the rape gangs in the north of England. Do watch that 1 p.m. tomorrow if you possibly can. And yesterday's interview, Charles, was with Catherine Gunn.
It was indeed. And as the pieces have moved around the board in the Middle East today, it is very, very pertinent to cast our minds back just over 2 decades to the build-up to the Iraq War as it was then, and Catherine Gunn's actions whilst working at GCHQ in breaching the Official Secrets Act to do what she believed was right at the time. And her story is extremely compelling and really does merit a revisit. So please do listen to this and share it far and wide. And she also offers her views on the world as it is now and gives a very, very concise sort of analysis of it.
Okay, and we'd like to mention Public Child Protection Wales is holding a conference on the 22nd of February this year. It lasts from 10:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. It's in Cwmbran near Newport. We would just encourage everybody, or as many people as possible to go to that if you can. Certainly the presentation from Kim Isherwood at the UK Column Conference in October went down extremely well. So if any way you can possibly support this organisation by attending, that would be fantastic. Details at publicchildprotectionwales.org. They have a great lineup of speakers that are on screen at the moment, but including Rebecca Manning, Dr. Anna Lutfi, and so on. We will have the link to that in the show notes, of course. So please do join us for that. Now, where does that take us, Charles? The climate. No, before we get to that, we've one more here. Yeah. That is this open letter being signed by doctors, academics, and so on for RFK. This is to the Senate, of course, because RFK's confirmation hearing is taking place very, very soon. Lots and lots of signatures on that. So there's a number on there, another 4,800 signatures, including the ones that are on that I've just shown you on screen at the moment. So if anybody is a healthcare professional or an academic would like to sign that, there is a Google Doc, and the link to that will be in the show notes as well. And if you'd like to sign that, please do. Let's move on to the climate